Hi there. Thank you so much for being here. I am outside. It's obviously June and it is cold. So I just wanted to sort of have a more casual atmosphere for talking this science talk that we're going to have. So the science behind the power of our home. So just bear with me through this because it's going to be like a little intense. So epigenetics. If you like, you can hit a heart or something like that. So I'm going to share a little bit about epigenetics because most of this is rooted in epigenetics and neuroplasticity and also human ecology. And so the first thing with epigenetics is it's related to Bruce Lipton, and I love Bruce Lipton. So if you're not familiar with Bruce Lipton or epigenetics, I highly recommend you check him out. Check out his work. He's an amazing speaker. So Bruce Lipton is like the godfather of epigenetics. What is epigenetics? Epigenetics is the science that tells us our environment informs our outcomes, okay? And so we can take this on a genetic level, which means that even if we have a genetic predisposition to something, our environment can override that genetic predisposition. So we're going to talk a little bit about how this relates to our home. So what Bruce Lipton did in the late 60s, I think it was 1967, he was studying stem cells in petri dishes. And so he took identical stem cells, but he placed them in 3 different petri dishes. And each of these petri dishes had a different environment. And so his hypothesis was, the question was, are the cells going to change because they have a different environment? And the answer was yes. So each of the stem cells in each of the different petri dishes had different outcomes. And so epigenetics is how our environment informs our outcomes. Each of us is a symphony of cells. And so we are like the cells in the petri dish, and our home is our primary environment. So our home is like our petri dish. And so this is the core concept behind neurodesign and holistic design that I developed. Okay, so our environment informs our outcomes. So that's part 1. Part 2 is neuroplasticity. Our environment is sending cues to our mind, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, which is informing our thoughts. Okay? What the mind thinks, the body feels. Okay? So that means what we're thinking is impacting us on a cellular level from moment to moment to moment. Okay, so now we're going to pop over to like Wayne Dwyer and Esther Hicks and Joe Dispenza, and this belief that thoughts become things. You can change your thoughts to change your life, which is fantastic, right? But there is a conundrum in all of this, and this is the big deal, and this is why our home is so important. If thoughts become things, and we have 50,000 to 75,000 thoughts every single day. Now, here's the thing. The majority of those thoughts are held in our subconscious mind. That means most of our thoughts we cannot consciously access. So, if thoughts become things and we can change our thoughts to change our life, then how do we change those 95% of our thoughts that we cannot access, right? And there's one important thing to know about the subconscious mind and the content within the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is like a database, and it follows these inner algorithms, these if-then statements that were put in place in the first 7 years of our life. So that means the majority of thoughts that we have that are held in the subconscious mind is actually a data bank of the rules and beliefs that we were taught in the first 7 years of our life. That's a problem, right? Because a lot of us aren't living the life that our caregivers, our parents, our family intended for us to live. But their beliefs and their rules and the things that they told us are still going on in our mind. So if thoughts become things, and the majority of our thoughts are in this subconscious mind, and they're haphazardly creating things that we potentially do not want, how do we access those thoughts and change them so they're more in alignment with what I want, right? With what we want. And that's where our home comes in. Our home is the only, if not the only, maybe one of the only environments that we get creative liberty. And so we can use the space of our home to get the attention of our subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind gets all of its data from its environment. And then that cues a thought within the subconscious or conscious mind. But there's a 95% chance that it's cueing the subconscious, right? Because that's where the majority of our thoughts live. So we can use the environment of our home to get the attention of our subconscious mind, and we can redirect or rewire those synapses that are habitually occurring in our mind so that we can adapt the space of our home in a way that helps us reorient the focus and the direction of the mind. It helps us make the subconscious more conscious. So I took a few notes because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about that? The connection between epigenetics and our home and the significance, and then neuroplasticity, when we were talking about thoughts become things and how we can change our thoughts to change our life, that has to do with neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, if you guess from the word, it's like thoughts, neuro, like the mind, and elasticity. So it's the elasticity of our mind, and how even though we have these thoughts that are hard set within our mind, or these beliefs, we can work with our thoughts. We can change our thoughts. Okay, so the mind is malleable. This is neuroplasticity. So what neurodesign is and neurospatial linguistics, so I'll back up a little bit. Neurospatial linguistics is the field that I'm pioneering, and it's about how our environment communicates with our mind and how we can reorient our environment in a way that beneficially impacts this conversation happening in the mind. And so a really simple way is just the language of home. The language of home is neurospatial linguistics. It's this language that's being communicated between our mind and our home, and it's happening every day, all day, just chatter, 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 but it's in the subconscious mind, so we're not aware of it. So neurodesign and neurospatial linguistics is how we adapt our space so that our home and our mind and our desires and intentions and values all move into alignment. Okay, so it's boggling to me why this hasn't been done before, right? Like we ingest food to enhance our vitality, and our home is visual sensorial nutrition for our overall well-being. And here's the thing. So this has to do with manifesting. So, and you've probably heard me say this before, we are constantly manifesting. We are made to manifest. We are manifesting creatures. We don't like to call it manifesting unless we're creating more of what we want. But here's the thing about manifesting that's really simple and basic. Manifesting is alignment. That's it. All manifesting is alignment. It's aligning our thoughts, our beliefs, our imagination, our expectation, our assumption with what we want. And our environment, one of which is our home, our body, our relationships, where and how we spend our time, nature, all of these things are part of our environment. And so the best thing we can do for ourselves is align our inner environment of our mind with the external environment of our home and our life. And when they move into alignment, we're going to start creating more of what we want. We're going to start intentionally manifesting, but it's also just going to happen. It's going to be a byproduct of aligning the inner space of your mind and your home with what you want. So if you're curious to learn more about this, type masterclass in the comments below, and I will send you a link to my free Power of Home and Mind masterclass. If you're interested in integrating this work into your design practice, your coaching practice, your wellness practice, type Empower, and I will send you a link to my certification program. And the certification program is a combination of science, design, and the mind. So it's consciousness. And when we speak of consciousness, we're all experiencing some level of consciousness. And the point of being here is to elevate our level of consciousness. Once we elevate our level of consciousness with our true nature and our desires, we cooperate with the unseen powers of, the cosmos, of the world. And so design is one opportunity. And when I say design, it's how we're adapting our space, right? It's not design like getting an interior designer to come in and make our house look like the inside of a Architectural Digest magazine. Design is how we adapt our space so it better supports what we want. Because our subconscious mind is a powerhouse. And right now it's full of things that maybe we don't want in there, right? Like core beliefs and things from the way we were raised. Our environment is a way to access the subconscious and to clean up those outdated algorithms happening within the mind. And really simply, like our home is a way to soothe our nervous system. Our home is a way to regulate our nervous system. Our home is a way to enhance our happiness quotient. So this is where the human ecology part comes in. If you imagine an animal living in the wild, their ability to thrive and flourish is dependent on their environment. When you take that animal and you put them in captivity in an enclosure that is a cage, and maybe there's some things in there that they can play with or whatever, but their ability to thrive and flourish greatly diminishes. Their well-being, I was going to say peace of mind, but their peace of mind, like their stress level goes up. And the same is true with us in our home. Our home is an opportunity for us to flourish and thrive, and it's an opportunity for us to soothe our nervous system. And if we're not aware of the impact our environment has on our overall well-being, on regulating our nervous system, on the way we feel, on how we're thinking, right? Like we have two homes, and one is where we live and the other is within the space of our mind. And so the fact that our home and our mind are in an interconnected relationship and they communicate this common language, that gives us an opportunity to completely reorient our life just by working with the space of our home. So again, if you'd like to learn more about this, type masterclass in the comments below, and I will send you my free Power of Home and Mind masterclass. If you want to check out more information about my certification program, neurodesign and consciousness, and how you can integrate this into a coaching practice, into a design practice, into any holistic wellness practice, or start a new career, type Empower in the comments below, and I'll send you a link to the certification program. So just to review, the primary things we are focusing on right now is epigenetics, and it's how our environment informs our outcomes, and how our home, we are under the influence of whatever our home is communicating to our mind, whether we realize it or not. Our home tells a story, and our home speaks this language of home. It's speaking this narrative to our subconscious mind. And so it's either enhancing our well-being and moving us closer to what we ultimately want, or it's getting in our way. And so what we want to ask ourselves is, do I love my home? Does my home support what I want in my life? Does my home feel like a reflection of me and the life I'm creating? Because if our home is getting in the way of what we want, then that's impacting our baseline for well-being. Our home sets our baseline for well-being. And when our home supports us on a physical level, a mental level, emotional level, then it moves into supporting us on energetic and spiritual levels. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so the primary thing that I'm concerned about is getting all of us to elevate our level of consciousness and to experience personal flourishing and whatever it is we feel like we were meant to do, whatever life we feel like we were meant to enjoy. And we have a handful of innate superpowers that we can tap into. And it starts with our desire, and then it goes to our mind and different elements within our mind and our environment. And so I have a program that helps you integrate your desire, access your subconscious, make your subconscious more conscious, and we do it all using the platform and the canvas of your home. Because really your canvas is an opportunity to be a catalyst for whatever you want. And that goes back to this relationship between what's going on in your environment and what's going on within your mind. Because what's going on within your home and what's going on within your mind impact what's showing up in your life. Like we could have a conversation and you could tell me, you could show me pictures of what's going on in your home. You can tell me about what's not working in your life, and I can show you the connection. Okay. It's sort of a little bit like being a house whisperer. Like once you can see the connection between what's going on within specific areas of your home and what's going on with specific areas of your life, you get to see the connection. And that's why I created the Reset program and neurodesign, so that you can track what's going on in your life, what's going on within your home, and how you can adapt your space so that it moves you and your life and your mind into alignment with whatever it is you want. Does anyone have any questions? I know I'm just like bombarding y'all with lots and lots of information. I just want y'all to know that there's a reason why your home is important. And it has to do with epigenetics, how our environment informs our outcomes, and neuroplasticity, how we can change our thoughts to change our life. Okay, here's a question. What's the difference between the reset and certification? Okay, great question. Is the reset included in the certification? Yes. So the reset is for anyone who has a house, who wants to understand the relationship between what's going on in their mind, what's going on in their home, and how to align their life with what they want. The certification program so the reset is included in level 1 of the certification program, because with the certification program, I want everyone to experience firsthand how this work impacts their life. So yes, the reset is level 1 of the certification program. And then level 2 and 3 of the certification program take you in like a deeper dive into the science, and then how to actually work neurodesign when you're working with coaching clients or when you're working with design clients, because ultimately the neurodesign is all about getting people from where they are to where they want to be, and seeing the connection between how their home is giving them a map. Like our home is giving us a map to our psyche. Our home is giving us a map to what's not working in our life. Like our home is like the portal between what's happening in our space, what's happening in our mind, and what's showing up in our life. And our home is this beautiful reflection. It's telling us, hey, you need to look over here, or hey, here's an opportunity. Like, if we can enhance this area, let's see what happens. So did that answer your question? And again, if y'all have any questions, feel free to just throw them out at me. I really appreciate y'all being here. And so I try to keep these chats short because I just want to respect everyone's time. And I just want to give y'all a potent dose of neurodesign and desire and consciousness, because all three of these are related. So if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Again, if you want to learn more about my certification program, type Empower. And if you would like to learn more about the power of your home and mind, type Masterclass in the comments, and I will send you a link to my free masterclass. Okay. Have a great day, and thanks again for being here.